All verse rising soul family, peace to the God stars and goddesses. Soul family, have you noticed in the Western countries, a lot of the Gen X fathers and mothers in UK, Canada, USA, they had these millennials and Generation Z offsprings to be going to these school systems that's ran by the demon realm, alien slave owner narcissists, energy vampires, to teach their millennial and Gen Z offsprings education, which is false education. It's crazy, soul fam. It's crazy, man. Like it's very disappointing to see that. Now, when you look at these Generation X fathers and mothers that grew up in these African countries, Asian countries, Caribbean countries, they teach their offsprings real education, real history, real spiritual education that's gonna benefit them for their spiritual growth as their offsprings of the millennials and the Gen Z people were to age up in new adventures, right? This is something that a lot of the Gen X fathers and mothers have failed to do in these Western countries in USA, Canada, and UK. And it doesn't matter what ethnic group it is. It doesn't matter what ethnic group. It could be the Africans, Caribbeans, the Asians, the Middle Easterns, the Europeans who had their offsprings grow up in USA, UK, and Canada learning false history about almost everything in the multiverse, soul family. And this is the reason why a lot of the Gen X fathers and mothers of the Western countries, they have failed their offsprings from the millennials and the Gen Z people. Like, this is sad, soul family. Like, look, what kind of biological father and biological mother would have their offsprings go into a evil demonic government system to learn education, which is not real education, that comes from these spiritual realms? Anyone with common sense, anyone with a logical thinking process will comprehend that real education is from the spiritual realm within an individual soul body temple, because your soul body temple that you walk with daily, that you exercise with, that soul body temple that you carry has a lot of spiritual realm of infinite dimensions within your soul body temple. That's where you get all of your intelligence from. That's where you get all your cosmic intelligence from. You can't learn this from those school systems in a Western country. You think UK, Canada, and USA is teaching that, soul fam? No, they are not, soul fam. This is the reason why the so-called white supremacy system, which is really a demon, narcissistic energy vampire government systems of the underworld, are teaching they have taught a lot of these millennials and Generation Z people a lot of wrong in school history. Like, it makes no sense. Why you think a lot of these millennials and Gen Z people that you have see be in college fraternities, they have been indoctrinated and brainwashed to follow the Greek way of living? Fraternities deals with a lot of Greek stuff out here. A lot of European white supremacy culture, right? That's why a lot of melanated people in general in UK, USA, Canada, they are so far gone when we talking about individuals in these Western countries. They're so far gone because they didn't have no spiritually awake fathers and mothers to teach them real spiritual education. I'm gonna tell you right now, the offsprings of Oshun and all these Orishas, the offsprings of Oshun and all these other Orishas, they learned well from their biological fathers and mothers of the Orisha species. So when we look at melanated people in these African countries, in Caribbean countries, like, for example, you got a lot of melanated people in the country of Ethiopia, Eritrea, Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Zimbabwe, you know, Senegal, South Africa, South Sudan, any African country, any Caribbean country you could name. I guarantee you, those biological fathers and mothers, or whoever were their caretakers were, of these millennial and Gen Z offsprings who grew up in the African Caribbean countries, a lot of those melanated people are spiritually awake over there. That's why they don't. That's why they don't follow no colonizing way of thinking. That's why they're not like NPC zombie bots out here. You know, so fine. You see the difference. And I'm being very calm about explaining this stuff because I could just literally outrage. I could just like explain this stuff in blazing rage when it comes to how corrupted the evil demon realm draconian government systems be indoctrinating a lot of offsprings that go to these school systems in the Western country, right? I'm being calm about this, soul family. So, and we know this to be fact, soul family. A lot of the Generation X people that grew up in the Western countries like UK, Canada, and USA, they are so different from these Gen X people who grew up in the African countries, Caribbean, Asian. It's you know, come on, the difference is there, soul family. The difference is there. A lot of the spiritually awake Gen X people, they are in these countries far away from the Western lands, you know. And it's very sad, soul family. Like, look, I can tell you more proof about how corrupted the evil demon realm draconian energy vampire narcissistic school systems are in indoctrinating a lot of parents' offsprings there. Like, for example, I can't really talk about spiritual things with most of these people in these Western countries because a lot of these individuals in these Western countries, they're spiritually dead out there. It don't matter if you in Montreal. It doesn't matter if you in Dahlsbury, United Kingdom. It doesn't matter if you in Buffalo, New York, in USA. A lot of these, especially in Louisiana, right? Or Mississippi or Alabama, right? Or Florida or Missouri, right? Like, look, a lot of these individuals that have been indoctrinated into these school systems in the Western countries, they are so spiritually dead. They want to call spiritually awake people conspiracy theorists, schizophrenic, autistic, all these fucking fake ass matrix labels that was made by some fucking demons who fucking enslave planet Earth, right? So you think about all this fucked up ass shit. So if I'm like these demon slave owners, the Draconians, the Deros, the fucking Mazareks, the Archons, all these evil patriotic demons. They have ruined a lot of development of a lot of these human-like species in the Western countries. When we talking about USA, UK, and Canada. So if you want to see a lot of spiritually awake people, especially of the millennials and the Gen Z, a lot of millennials and the Gen Z people, especially the melanated ones that grew up in the African countries, they're spiritually awake. You would think you talking to one of these ancient gods and goddesses in these African books, with how spiritually awake these melanated people are for the majority that grew up in these African countries or the Caribbeans. Like, for real. So like, this stuff is crazy. So like, when a lot of these biological parents, who are so foolish in these Western countries, in UK, Canada, and USA, had the audacity to put trust in a fucking evil ass demon government system to have their offsprings learn education from a demonic system when their offspring supposed to be getting education from Mother Nature and Father Nature in their spiritual realms within their soul body temple. But this is all I'm going to say, so